On behalf of Dan Brummel.
And Richard Rice on behalf of defendant Barbara Michelle Martin.
Thanks, you may proceed.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Edwards. We wanted to put this statement on the record.
Thank you. Just for the record, I provided Mr. Rice.
And you also understand
an
that
appointment
your attorney, Mr. Edwards, has a right to make objections to
information pertaining to clients. I'm going to provide Mr. Rice with the original, which he has promised to return to me in its original condition, under the stipulation that the information obtained will be used for purposes of litigation and not be given to Ms. Martin for the purpose of soliciting any clients. And there will be some customer cards given to Mr. Rice that are subject to the same stipulation. I think that's accurate.
That is correct. Please state your name.
Daniel Brummel.
Mr. Brummel, where do you work?
I work at Winter Circle Hair Replacement Center.
Now, the name of the plaintiff in this action is Winter Circle Inc. Is that the actual name, or is the name you just gave me?
The actual name is Winter Circle Hair Restoration Incorporated, DBA Winter Circle.
Okay, so the longer name you've given me is the legal name?
Correct.
Okay. And there are corporate documents to that effect?
Yes.
Okay. And you have those corporate documents in your possession?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who is the owner of the corporation that you just named?
I am.
Is there any other person who has an ownership interest in you?
No.
Have you ever been deposed before?
No.
Do you understand how a deposition works?
Basically, yes.
Okay. And you understand that I'll be asking you questions and you'll be giving me answers to those questions?
Correct.
And it's important that we try not to talk over one another.
Yes.
Okay. And you also understand that your attorney, Mr. Edwards, has a right to make objections to questions, but except in rare instances where he instructs you not to answer, you still must answer the question. Correct?
Correct.
And you are sworn under oath as though you were in a court of law and subject to the same penalties if you do not tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You understand that?
Yes.
Now, this matter that we're here for at this moment relates primarily to a lawsuit that was filed on your behalf by Attorney Edwards against Barbara Michelle Martin. Is that correct?
Correct.
And are you familiar with the original lawsuit that was filed, known as the summons and complaint?
That we filed against
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Yes. You've seen that document,
Yes.
have you not? And just yesterday, coincidentally, I received a document entitled Amended Complaint that was apparently filed on November 11th of 2002. Are you familiar with that document?
Yes.
I'm going to mark that document as Exhibit 1 and then present it to you and ask if you would just take a moment to look at it and be certain to identify that as the amended complaint in this action that I've just referred to.
Turn to the document now. It's Mr. Brummel. He's on the couch. Or in the chair with a little picture behind his head. Could be a certificate.
Exhibit 1 is a copy of the amended complaint in this action. Now, the amended complaint contains a number of numbered paragraphs, and some of those paragraphs contain factual information. You understand that?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the factual information that is generally contained in those paragraphs?
He's complaining
Yes.
about
And you have personal and direct knowledge of matters related to the facts that are cited in some of the paragraphs in the amended complaint. Is that correct?
Yes.
What I would like to do is get an understanding from you as to what you know about the facts related to the now in this document amended complaint. This is what we call, I believe, the controlling document in this case, from the standpoint of the complaint against Liz Martin. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in paragraph 9, if you look at Exhibit 1,
Paragraph
it
number
indicates that from
9.
March of 2001 until May of 2002,
March.
management staff
2001,
at
right?
Winner's Circle verbally reprimanded Ms. Martin regarding her attitude and performance. Who is the management staff?
8:53 a.m. and 33 seconds.
Management staff would be myself, John Heidlinger.
Talking
And
about
what title
the
do you
staff right
hold
now.
with regard to being referred to as management staff?
Gonna refer that staff to management.
Do you have any other title other than president with regard to the actual
He's
business
the
of
president
Winner's Circle?
of the business.
One that I've given myself.
Okay. Would you, owner
He
is
can give
okay to
himself
call you that?
any title
Okay.
he wants
So,
right now.
for lack of a better word,
World
you say you're the
champion.
boss at Winner's Circle.
Yes.
And essentially the buck stops with you at Winner's Circle.
Of
Correct.
Winner's Circle.
Now, you mentioned Mr. Keitlinger. What position is he in?
Manager.
And what are Mr. Keitlinger's job duties with respect to
Tell
your
us about
business?
Mr. Kyle's duty.
He's
What's it look
his total
like?
duties.
And
He's
is
a
he a
sales and
cutie?
consultant.
He's sales and the
Reception and help out where else he can in the salon. He's also, as management, he's supposed to be taking care of the daily ongoing employee time off and things that do with the daily stuff of the employees.
How long has Mr. Keitlinger been the manager of
daily
your
stuff.
business?
of our employees.
The first of the year,
First
January
of
1st, 2002.
2000. Prior to January 1st, 2002, did Mr. Keitlinger work for you?
Yes,
What title did he hold prior to January 1st, 2002?
consultant.
And did he have the same job duties you just mentioned other than management?
Yes.
Job duties.
Who then exercised the management job duties prior to January 1, 2000? How many employees, or let me ask you this, prior to January 1st, 2002, how many persons reported to you as the president and owner of the business?
At the time I had, besides John, I had two other employees.
John.
Who were those two?
Rhonda Olson
Rhonda.
and Michelle.
Olson.
Michelle Martin.
Can we be more
Michelle.
specific about a time frame? I think your question was prior to January of 2002. That's a long period of
I
time.
understand. For the year of 2001.
Okay, thank you.
Is that the names you gave him? Did those two people work there during 2001?
Yeah, they did work there too.
And how long did Ms. Olson continue to work for your business?
Until March 21st, which was 2002.
Do you know why Ms. Olson left? Moved out of the area?
Relocated.
Do you know where she moved to?
Illinois.
Do you know where in Illinois?
Bellevue.
Have you had any communication with Ms. Olson since she left working for you in March of 2002?
Yes.
How many times have you had contact with her?
I can't name. It's been